From the heart of Kansas City, we bring you Buck and Bob Take on Chiefs Kingdom. I'm Bob,
I'm Buck.
and we aren't fancy analysts, but we have just as many bad takes. All right, dude, draft is over. We're here. It was a lot
Draft
more
was
work.
It was a lot of more work, but it was really exciting. It was really fun.
Yeah.
Sit there and watch, not just the Chiefs, but all the teams and all the flipping and trades, and yeah, it was fun.
Yep.
And this is the first time that I've ever sat and watched any part of the draft, so it was a new experience for me. Very exciting.
Yeah. See, I definitely watched the draft when it was here in town because I went to it. So I did a lot of stuff that week. I get to see, New Heights podcast live and everything too. But yeah, I didn't fully watch. I was talking to people, schmoozing, all that type of stuff. But this time I fully watched everything and really I learned a lot about the draft. But I've always been the type of fan that always took a break, and then as soon as the draft was over, I would study our picks that we got like immediately. But with this podcast, we're trying to grow, learn. So
Learn new things. Yep.
yeah, so I really tried to learn the draft. So maybe we could do good draft content next year. But I did not feel we did like one draft content episode, and that was so much work because we weren't prepared for it, and we just didn't do any others. And I want to do it next year, but I want to make sure it's something worthwhile, or else why do it? So, but I had a blast watching it. It was, you know, I do always look at the picks afterwards, and I think we did a really good job in this draft, especially in day 3.
Yeah, I mean, overall, I think the guys that we picked up are good. I'm looking forward to what they can do on the team. I just think that maybe the draft didn't go the way that I thought it should.
All right, well, we're gonna get into it and talk about each of the picks, and we'll definitely have some final thoughts at the end where you could give those, and I mean, and also individual thoughts throughout, but a little bit of housekeeping right here at the top of the show. Don't forget, we still have the Tamba Holly signed photo, 8x10 framed giveaway. All you got to do
Awesome.
is, yep, it is awesome. All you got to do is like and comment on each of our podcasts and each of our news videos, depending on how many we had. We did 2 on the draft. We didn't do a day 3 one, which I wish we had, but we just didn't. We were very, very tired and did not even realize how much work it was all going to be. But just a reminder to do that, and you'll get an entry for each one. Also, we have merch now. You can see right here our logo, but we have shirts, phone cases, cups, mugs, wine glasses, rocks glasses, hats. I mean, and
Soon to be
if
hoodies.
anybody wants me to make something, there's a ton of stuff to make. I just made some stuff, and the site will be going live soon, probably tomorrow at the latest Wednesday. And the good news is it's going to be on our new website at buckandbob.com.
Buck and Bob.
That's going to be our new website. You'll be able to see our most recent TikToks and YouTube. All of our socials will be there, as well as our merch. And there'll be a nice little thing at the bottom for anybody that wants to donate money to us. But maybe you should just buy merch than actually just giving us money. But we'll take whatever we can get. And so that'll be live on buckandbob.com either tomorrow or the next day. So make sure you jump on and check out that. Well, do you have anything? Do you have anything at the top of the show that you want to?
No,
go
I
over?
mean, no, I'm just kind of excited to get into it and talk about these draftees.
All right. So for each of the picks, what I did for this episode is I made a little video, and starts out with us making the pick. Then it goes into the players did pressers, most of them, all of them except for Josh did pressers right after they were drafted. So I pulled bits and pieces from those, but not the whole thing. Just some of the things that I thought I really liked that they said, and that'll play. And then after that, while we talk, there will be player highlights in the background. So that's going to be our show today. And we want to get started with the first one.
Let's do it.
All right.
The 32nd pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Kansas City Chiefs select Josh Simmons, tackle, Ohio State.
So that's the first one I don't have presser stuff for. I guess he did talk. I guess he came right to KC and was actually at the Chicken and Pickle over by my house in South Overland Park.
And you missed it.
Yeah. But I saw it on TV, but I wasn't able to find it to record it. So I don't have that. But Josh, I mean, we thought it was very possible, and I thought to get him, they might have to trade up a couple picks. I was bummed that we didn't trade up and get like a stud offensive weapon. But at the same time, if this works out, I mean, Josh he could be Pat Mahomes left tackle until Pat retires.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he could be ready by training camp. Like this, not to say that he's going to be the starting left tackle at the beginning of the season, but that's definitely a possibility at some point in the season. But I and I know this isn't the way that the players are going to want to do it. This isn't the way the coaches are going to do it, but just let the guy heal. Like, give him time. That is not what he's going to. I mean, imagine you just got picked late in the first round after everybody thinking you were going to be top 10 in the draft because of an injury, and all you want to do is play football, man. That's all this kid wants to do. So he's going to be trying to rush back. I just, give him time. Let's see how Jalen Moore works out for a little while.
Well, and Andy Reid did say that he's going to compete. So, and he said competition's good. So I don't think he starts over Jalen Moore, but I think he does get reps. But I'm with you. Like, I mean, it'll be huge for him to sit back and learn, and and
heal.
be there in case of injury too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
heal.
mean, the longer that you sit, the stronger that becomes, to a point. And I know you got to work it out, and you've got to do all the physical rehab stuff, and that's got to suck. But if he's putting in that work, he's doing it because he wants to play. So I'm just worried about him coming back a little too early.
He could be a situational piece if people get hurt too. I mean, he did play right. So in 2021 he was a red shirt at San Diego State, but he started all 13 games in 2022 for San Diego State as right tackle, and then he switched to left tackle when he went to Ohio. So I think that he'll be a good fit regardless of where he goes. But I mean, and the fact that we traded back and got an extra pick in the 5th round, the Eagles had to have jumped up because they thought the Chiefs were going to trade with a different team.
Yeah, because the Chiefs had no interest in that linebacker. It wasn't a big thing. Yeah, I mean, that's the only thing that makes sense. They jumped up one pick.
Yeah, one pick and gave up a extra 5th round pick. It had to be, it had to be, it
Just
had
to
to be
keep
that.
another team from doing it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of who was right behind us because they might have been okay moving back a couple picks into the 2nd round and taking Josh there. But I hear all the Eagles fans be like, "Oh yeah, you better hope they don't do this." I'm like, "Dude, we did you a favor. Quit freaking talking shit." The Eagles fans are still talking shit.
Oh yeah, they're gonna talk shit all year.
Yeah, I mean, and it is their right, I guess. So, but it's still, it's just like, come on, dude.
Annoying. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Mahomes is done. His career's over. The dynasty's done.
Yeah, I think
it only takes one game. That's all it takes. One game to kill a dynasty.
Any Eagles fan that leaves a comment talking shit, I think I'm just gonna reply from here on out with tushy pushy. Just to point out there.
It's not going to hurt anybody's feelings though, because
it should, because
they love that play.
It's a wimpy ass. Well, they love it, but they tried to rename it the brotherly shove. They are definitely embarrassed by it,
just by the name of it.
Well, it's a dumb play. I mean, you just can't you can't argue. But yeah, this is. I mean, I give it a B though for the pick. Like I do give it a B, just because what if what if he can't play for a whole year? What if he's never the same as he was? Everybody talks about his great footwork, but what if that's gone after coming back from the patellar? But I guess this is a minor patellar injury, so. And the Chiefs staff have a lot of experience with that specific injury.
Yeah, the only thing that, and I would probably give it in the B range also, and for pretty much the same reason. I mean, he could come and play and produce at a high level at that position, but I mean, traditionally, when you draft somebody in the 1st round, you want them to be day one, if not starters, at least ready to go to compete at least for the starting spot day one, and that's just not going to happen. So, but still, I mean, a B in the 1st round could be worse. The long term though for this is the ceiling for this guy could be it could be legendary. So let's hope things kind of work out. I'm excited for him to work with the whole offensive line and the coaching staff and really establish himself though as a left tackle. So
same.
Here's to hoping.
Yeah. Yeah, it always could be next year he takes over at right tackle and Jalen Moore retains the left tackle spot. I mean, that wouldn't suck either. If Jalen Moore turns out to be as good as we think he's going to be,
100%.
Awesome.
Yep.
And then
that would just give us
is on the left guard. I mean, whew.
Yeah. I mean that. I think that's best case scenario. You know what? I've got high hopes for Jalen Moore this year. I really do. I don't
high hopes for a living.
I don't get the reference, but yes,
gotta have high hopes for a living. Something about giving. Yeah, it's a song.
Okay.
All right. So HD Chiefs fans says in the chat, Veach addressed how intensive they were in examining the injury. When he came for his 30 visit with the Chiefs bringing in experts to examine him. I'm gonna have you read these because I'm so this stupid thing in my mouth gives me a lisp. It's hard to talk. Bad thing for a podcaster, right?
You can't tell. Don't tell.
But yeah, I mean, and like I said, also Rick Burkhalter, friend of the show. Actually, no, but he was my old friend that I lost his number and haven't talked to him in years. But Rick does have a lot of experience with this type of injury, so hopefully this is going to work out great. And if it does, it was a steal, and we got an extra pick. So I'll give it a B+ because we got the extra pick. I'll move it up to a B plus.
Okay, I won't.
More as a stopgap. He's okay. So Brian Parrott in chat says more as a stopgap. He's already too damn expensive. I mean, $15 million. If he was a stud left tackle, we'd almost wish we had him for $15 million for 4 years, 5 years. Because that's pretty cheap for a stud. But if he's not a stud, I mean, maybe it's an overpay.
How long do we have him for?
2 years, but it's pliable. We could get out of it in we could get out of it in year 2, like next year. We could get out of it fairly easy if we didn't want to keep him. But I mean, he's looked good in all of his starts.
Yeah, his numbers were terrific when he was backing up, or when he was starting because of the injury.
Yep. So I don't know, but I think we've talked about Josh Simmons to nauseum leading up to the draft. So I don't think we really need to.
Yeah.
I think we could. Yeah, we could just move on. So let's move on to the second round pick.
Chiefs Kingdom, let me hear you.
Dante Hall.
With the 63rd pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Kansas City Chiefs select Omar Norman-Lott, defensive tackle, Tennessee. Let's go, Chiefs!
And then just, quick research on you. It seemed like you played in a lot of sub packages on rushing or pass rush downs. How do you envision your role at the next level here in the NFL?
Honestly, I'm a player. I'm going to get in where I fit in, and I'm going to do what the coach asks of me. So whatever system we have built in already here with the Chiefs Kingdom, I'm going to adhere to that, and we're going to get it done, however it needs to be done.
And how much do you know about the Chiefs? And obviously, Chris Jones is the leader of this defense, and same position as you. How much are you looking forward to being a part of that group with Chris?
And I'm so happy and coming in with an open mind and ready to learn and get my playbook down, and just blessed to be a part of a Super Bowl team like this, and ready to go get a ring. I mean, it means the world to be able to be in the National Football League, let alone be a Chief. I mean, this is everything. And it's Steve Spagnuolo, man. He the head man. He draw up what's about to go down on the field. So I love him and appreciate him to death. Also, Andy Reid too, for making me a part of this big organization, I should say. Shout out to the Chiefs Kingdom, and I'm ready to just go get after it and go hunt some quarterbacks down and make some plays in the backfield. I'm just so happy to be able to be a Chief.
All right, so this one, okay. He really played on for sure passing downs, but when he was on the field, I mean, he was he was in the 99 percentile of sacks and pressures. I mean, this guy could get to the quarterback. A lot of people are saying, they're just assuming because he was only in on passing downs that he won't be a guy that could play, an entire game. And I think once the Chiefs can work with him, I think he could turn out to be, the guy right next to Chris Jones going forward. But
on a starting level, you think?
Yeah, but I just don't know, because he just didn't ever get a chance to be on running downs. I mean, so I just don't know. But it seems like a lot of people are saying that he's just going to be a pass rush specialist. But I don't know. He is a bit undersized, though.
Yeah, and that was going to be my point. So he's 6'2", and then depending on what site you look at, he's anywhere between 290 and 305, which is, it's not undersized per se, but it's very low on the spectrum of what you want in a defensive tackle. I mean, some
Well,
of
the
them,
height is just really
well,
also what I'm
and the
thinking.
weight. I mean, the weight. I mean, some of the defensive tackles can get up to 350 pounds. So, but 290 is about the low where you want to be. And one of the sites that I looked at showed 291. So he really is on the small side, but he has a good burst. He's flashy. I just that's to me that explains maybe why he wasn't in on running plays. Is he doesn't have the size to really plug the gaps that he needs to be able to plug. And that's just I don't know. I didn't watch any of his games. I can't say that. It just seems logical that could be one of the reasons why he wasn't.
Well,
He
I
also
mean,
might suck at just tackling
so
runners.
so I think the big like the ones that are over 300 pounds are more like run stoppers or nose tackle types, whereas I mean Chris Jones is 298 but he's 6'6".
Mhm.
Like that's a lot of leverage. Like I think his weight is fine for what they want him to do. I just don't know about his height. That's the part where I'm like a little bit
Yeah, but I mean, you even just said it. The big 350-pound guys, those are the run stoppers. But if you want this guy to play on a regular, on a regular basis, on an every, be the regular starter, he's got to be able to stop the run too.
Yeah, and HD Chiefs fan, if you want to start reading these out, you can. Be,
Oh yeah,
be
his
better for me.
HD Chiefs fan said his get off speed is incredible though. Yeah, and if you're watching any of these highlights, you kind of see that his burst off the snap is pretty quick. I mean, in the NFL, that's going to get harder for him to do, though. I mean, they're going to change up the snap count. They're going to look for guys like that to exploit, especially rookies. So, that's exciting, but it's also a little scary too. He's definitely counting. He, you can, I mean, to get off some of these snaps the way that he's doing it, you really have to be timing the snap, which is a lot easier at the college level than at the pro level.
And he did get in a fight and was suspended in 2023, but
Yeah.
had a clean slate in 2024, and I guess worked as a bouncer. He did say this in his presser. I didn't put it in our video, but worked as a bouncer, and he said it helped him understand better ways to de-escalate situations.
Oh,
So
I'm sure.
it sounded like growth, like personality growth and maturity growth.
The one thing though is he didn't start any games in 2024 after starting in 23. So to me that almost seems like regression. I don't know. You never know. They could have got a stud in his first year that he just wasn't good enough to be starting over. But again, at the college level, if somebody comes in and beats you for a starting spot, what's going to happen in the NFL? Um, I have a lot of confidence in this defensive coaching staff, though, to coach up these defensive linemen. So I think
And
Spags,
Chris Jones is a helper too.
yeah, he is, yeah, and Spags can turn coal into diamonds, man. This guy's just brilliant when it comes to his defense, and he can work a guy. He can work, he's got the depth that he can work with a guy and get him some experience without hurting the team too much. So we'll see what happens. I don't
Yeah,
I don't know if I see full-time starter though.
I think not this year, but 2026. I think possibly full time starter.
Hey, if he earns it, I mean, more power to him. I'd love to be wrong about that.
So the one last thing that I did want to say though is when he's on the field, he is going to get to the QB. It's just going to happen.
Yeah, I'm watching a lot of these, and he gets to the QB a lot, but the QB gets away a lot too.
But pressure's pressure.
Pressure, yes, pressure is pressure,
And interior pressure is so good. Like it's better than outside pressure, because outside pressure, the quarterback can still move into the pocket. Interior pressure, you force them out to the outside guys.
Right.
So,
and our outside blitzing or our outside rushing, the defensive ends are phenomenal. Well, phenomenal. They're really good.
yep.
So,
Yep. Speaking of that, we had our next pick, our third pick of the draft, round 3, pick 66. And it's a guy with a really easy name to pronounce. Let's check it out.
With the 66th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Kansas City Chiefs select Ashton Gelati, defensive end, Louisville.
What kind of communication did you have with the Chiefs?
I had some pretty interesting calls with Coach Spagnoli. He's a good guy. Talked to him a lot, and obviously I've had a couple meetings and Zooms with him. I know George, obviously, so that's kind of my interaction with the Chiefs. But I obviously just super blessed, to be considered. My uncle, diehard Chiefs fan, he pulled up with hats, shirts, all this stuff, and he was calling it from the beginning. So he was dying on that hill. But
And then, could you just describe yourself as a player?
I would say, and it shows on tape, it would be high motor, physical player. That's just my strengths. That's what I put on tape. I like being around the ball as much as possible and do what I can to contribute.
And, you finished your career, one of the all-time leading rushers as far as sacks go, but also tackles for a loss. What to you is the key to that? What's the key to getting after the quarterback and to getting stops in the backfield?
I think, good things happen when you're around the ball. And I put a lot of effort on the field. And obviously, the great rushers, they hit, obviously physical, they're fast. But the thing that separates a lot of people is your discipline, your technique, and your effort. Those are things you can't negotiate. So for me, that's what's allowed me to do is obviously playing within our scheme, knowing, okay, well, this guy has my back on the inside. So on this play, I'll cover him or he'll cover me. And just being able to play like that, that's how you get sacks. That's how you get production. So
I think I heard correctly that your mom was your strength coach at one point.
Yeah,
or it still is. Can you just describe a little of that dynamic and what's her athletic background?
My mom played soccer. Mom, you want to just spill? You want to spill? No. My mom's right here, but she plays soccer. She does CrossFit. So she really kind of got me into CrossFit at a young age. And she was kind of mentoring me. That's why I had no upper body really going into college, because she didn't do no bench. Because she was like, that's not a lift I do. So I was doing squat, clean, basically anything else besides upper body. And again, it works out. Got strong legs because of it, but it's a weird dynamic because if your mom yells at you as a coach, you're like, rah, and you can't really get mad because it's your mom. So.
I love this kid, dude. Okay, so just off the top, a lot of people are hating on this pick. This guy is an athletic beast. On top of that, he's a what's the word for it? An academic All-American. Those are pretty rare in the NFL. I mean, this guy is coachable. I mean, this guy's smart.
He is, and I don't know if I said it on the video. I don't think I did, but I know I said it to you. This guy looks a lot like Karlaftis, and I mean, he's pretty much the same size. His rush isn't overly complicated, but he's got a nose for the quarterback. I mean, that just sounds like Karlaftis on paper. That if this kid works out, yes.
Speaking of Karlaftis, he trained with him in the off season. They're buddies.
Which means that Gelati is this close to meeting Tamba Ali.
Yep.
And being as excited as we were. Yeah, that's going to be cool, man, because that Tamba's going to embrace the opportunity to work with this young kid because he loves Karlaftis. He's a big fan of George.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited about this kid, and I don't think he comes in and is a starter right off. but I think he's the one that will spell Karlaftis. Probably more on passing downs.
Oh, I thought you meant actually spell Karlaftis.
No, be
He's
his
probably the
backup.
one that could do it.
Yeah. Spell just means be a backup, or come in and give him a rest. But he's just, him talking to his mom right there.
Yeah,
Dude, the
I love
dude
that.
sounds like he's going to be likable. Sounds like he's going to be a great addition to the locker room. We talk about, on this show at least, we talk about players' mental a lot, and everybody makes fun of us, but it's a real big deal that a lot of people just
Absolutely.
have no idea about.
It's it's absolutely a real thing, and we saw that with Shedeur Sanders this year in the draft. Projected to be a top 20 pick, dropped to the 5th round. It wasn't because of his playing ability. He was considered to be a top 3 quarterback. It's all about his attitude and the way that they see him interacting with the other players in the locker room. But it's also a little bit about his dad.
Yeah, it's dude, Shedeur Sanders. Shame on like Dion. Shame on Dion, man. Dion went on a talk show and basically threatened a Eli Manning. That's just. You're basically just.
Do you remember the other
giving
night?
the finger to the NFL owners, and they're going to band together. This had to be a NFL owners are like, guys, everybody agree, not till the 5th round.
On Friday night, I said it to you in private. I said, Dion is going to say something really stupid in the next couple of days. And man, if that wasn't
He
one of
should
the
feel really bad. He should be a better mentor to, like, you don't talk
Yeah.
shit until you've done shit. Like,
Well, and the problem is Dion has done shit. And so he feels like he's got the right and the platform to say something. The problem is you're backing up somebody at that point that hasn't done shit. He's no longer Deion Sanders' son. He is now Shedeur Sanders, professional football player, and the only thing he can do is go out and perform. Nobody cares who your dad is anymore. I promise you, not one person in Cleveland cares that his father is Deion Sanders. They want Shedeur Sanders to come out and perform. That's all they care about.
So Brian Parrott said that Shiloh fired him and hired Rosenhaus and did instead. Is that true? His brother, I guess, the one that was sitting there with him. What did you do, bro? What did you do?
Are you saying Dion is his actual agent?
Dion, yeah, is. But I guess his brother fired Dion and
good for him, man.
Got Rosen.
Good for him.
I would say, man, Rosenhaus is still kind of a skeevy dude. I don't know if I would want him.
I wouldn't expect Shedeur to go with anybody else.
Well, no, this isn't Shiloh. Shedor's brother.
Oh yeah. But he's a Sanders. They're all gonna. You're a product of your environment. So even though he was smart enough to fire his father, he's still gonna.
I don't know that Shiloh is the same.
I don't know anything about him.
I think Shedeur could have got away with his attitude and his antics if he was a wide receiver. I think he could have got away with it. But as a quarterback, they're too important. But I don't care about Shedeur.
When you say get away with it, you mean he could have been a wide receiver and still drafted in the 1st round because
even
the
with
owners,
the attitude and all
right?
That.
Yeah, the owners, they don't, they almost expect that from your top wide receivers. But you're right. When you're talking about the leader of the team and the guy that everybody is going to look to when you need to come back from victory, is that clown the one that you want? Yep. Another thing we talked about during the draft was Pittsburgh. Why didn't Pittsburgh? And it was early on. I think in the 1st round. I can't remember where we saw it, but somebody said, "Oh, it was in our text chat for the fantasy football league that we're creating." Somebody said, "Why didn't Pittsburgh draft him? They must know something a little bit more about Aaron Rodgers." And I said, "Are you kidding me? Would you rather deal with the Aaron Rodgers circus or the Sanders family circus?" And Aaron Rodgers
Sanders
all day.
Family.
Yeah.
They're cocky and they know it. They always like to show it.
That's good.
The
Did you just come
Sanders
up with that?
family. Yeah, I just
That
came
was
up
really
with
good,
it.
man.
I could probably do the whole thing. Yeah. So, but talking about our draft pick, Ashton
Yeah.
Gelati,
Yeah,
which took us about 10 minutes to learn together. With a lot of outtakes while trying to say the name.
Oh my gosh. How many times
Mostly
Bob said
me.
Gilead?
Gileadi. Hey, stop doing that. You're gonna mess me up again. Gelati. But I am excited for this kid. I mean, really excited, and I don't know why people are hating on him. I think it is a bit of a bummer, that he was so all of our picks, in day 2, round 2, like our 4 picks our 3 picks in day 2 were all ones that were projected to go later, and we took them earlier than projection. But I want to remind people that don't think about this. There were dozens of players in the draft that were not on the Chiefs board because they don't fit our offensive and defensive schemes. So you could probably delete 32 picks off of those. So it all depends on where the Chiefs had him on the boards. And I don't think the Chiefs reached.
No, I don't think the Chiefs reached. I think this is the Gelati pick was a better pick than the Simmons pick in my mind. I would give this a B plus, maybe even an A minus. I'm pretty excited about this guy. I really am.
Oh, we forgot to rate Norman-Lott.
I will go B minus just because of size. Otherwise, I think it's a decent pick.
I'm actually going A minus on this pick just because I believe he's going to have a lot more motor than people think he is. And I mean, I think he's going to really turn up the sacks for us. But Ashton, what's your grade for Ashton?
Ashton, I say, is either like B plus A minus range. I really, really like this pick.
Yeah, I'll go A minus also. I mean, I just the fact that he's so smart. I mean, that's a huge thing people overlook. He'll be able to really learn how defensives work, and that's what's made Kelsey amazing. That's what's made Mahomes amazing. Although Mahomes got too smart, overthought things, and even when the defense didn't do it, he still was like, well, they should be doing this,
Hey,
so I'm
man,
not going to do this.
Even Superman has kryptonite.
Yep. But I'm excited, and I can't wait to see what they do with him. And yeah, I'm so.
King Jamie thinks that Gelati is an A. I wouldn't argue with you. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say, well, he's not that good. We'll see what happens on the field, but I think most of Chiefs Kingdom is pretty happy with that pick.
Yeah, the fact that his relative athletic score is so good. I'll show it again here on our little graphic here. The fact that is so high. And he's so smart. I mean, it's gonna be he's gonna be a monster in the league. I can almost guarantee it. As long as
you heard it here first. I don't think that would be a big reach if something like that happened, though. Honestly, Brian, they're cocky and they know it, and they like to show it. They're gonna friggin' blow it. The Sanders family. Da 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 da.
Boom, 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 boom.
That was good, Brian.
Yep, Brian. We should make a TikTok video of this. All right. Well,
let's move on.
Moving on to the next pick, which is my favorite pick of the draft. This was the first pick we took in day 3. This is my absolute favorite of the draft. Let's roll the tape.
With that selection, the Chiefs have moved up 10 spots.
The New England Patriots have traded the 85th pick to the Kansas City Chiefs. With the 85th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Kansas City Chiefs select Noel Williams, defensive back, California.
Okay, hold on. I got to put this up on the screen because you got this backwards.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this is in round 1. I was like, oh, I hope he goes undrafted, man.
Just
the attitude.
Every time somebody took a QB, Jason giggled and was just in hog heaven. And I was like, I felt bad for the kid. I really did. And I really felt bad for him when the kids pranked him and called him pretending to be a GM.
Yeah, that wasn't cool.
I felt bad for the kid. I feel it was a good thing for him, but looking at all of his stuff, I don't think he's a bad kid. I think he might be a little immature, and he has a bad role model in his dad.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
but that's not gonna change. Do you know who it was that pranked him? I don't know.
There's a video of it.
Yeah, I don't know exactly.
I forget what school they were at.
He's the son of a coordinator, of an NFL coordinator.
Oh, well, he had his school shirt on.
Yeah, no, he was there at school with his dorm mate or whatever. So it was definitely him at school with his school buddy. But apparently the story goes there was a piece of paper sitting on his dad's desk at home that had Shedeur Sanders' number on it. So he wrote it down. And he took it back to school and he was like, let's do this. I mean, it was.
Yeah. I don't revel in, unless somebody's done me specifically dirty, I don't revel in anybody's anguish. I just don't.
I just like to see people eat humble pie. And I think that Shedeur Sanders absolutely needs to eat some humble pie. I still think he probably might need to eat some more. But he might get that as he's the 5th quarterback on a horrible Browns team. So
on a team that has so many quarterbacks. But I was not the guy that was so excited about it.
There we go. HD Chiefs fan said Falcons DC defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbricht's son. Yeah. So thanks, buddy.
Yep. Boy, I bet his dad is a little pissed at him.
Pissed. Yeah. Oh yeah. He might.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. That's. I bet the whole organization doesn't like it. But he had the whole pie.
Yeah, he did have the whole pie. But I don't
Ruben
think
DeCruz said
he's done. I really don't. I think he needs more.
All right. Well, let's get back to Noel Williams let's hear what he had to say right after he was drafted.
You led the nation in interceptions. Just wondering about that ball hawk ability. Where does that come from in your eyes, and how do you think that'll translate to the pros?
It just comes from being consistent on the jugs and just keep on, practicing my ball skills in practice and just trying to translate it on the field. Just make sure my eyes are in the right spots. My feet are, nice and clean and tight. And how I'm going to translate to the pros, I feel like just got to, learn from guys like Trent McDuffie, other guys in the room for sure. And just come to work every day and just keep honing my craft, keep perfecting my craft.
You seemed like you also relish playing the run. You seemed like would you describe yourself as a physical corner? And how much does playing run support mean to you?
Yes, I would describe myself as a physical corner, and run support is very important. It's a game of inches. So, every chance you get to, fill a gap or just set the edge, it's got to be meaningful. You got to take pride. I take pride in tackling. So, I can do it all.
You were obviously a good kick returner in college as well. Is that something you can envision yourself doing at the next level?
For sure.
Did the Chiefs have any conversations with you about that?
Yeah, I've talked to the special teams coordinator in our Zoom, and he's recognized my skills. He liked how I can naturally catch the ball, and I told him when I'm experienced, what I've done the most on special teams, and I let him know I can contribute and compete.
So first off, what I love about this interview is, like us, Buck, he is a pacer.
That's exactly what I was going to say, man. Look at him pace. That's
Yep.
crazy.
Yep. Pacers are good people.
It helps you think. It helps you settle your mind. If I'm sitting on a phone call and I have to sit in a chair or on a couch, I'm so uncomfortable. I can't get through it. I gotta get up and walk around.
Yep.
So he's a good guy. Yeah, he's a
Yep.
good
Even
guy
if
right
I'm
off the
just
bat.
walking around the coffee table, which I do sometimes.
Yo, yeah. I'll walk back and forth just in front of I have a little apartment, man. So sometimes just right in front of my TV here, back and forth.
It just works out. But this guy's a returner. This guy has got great. I mean, this guy could honestly, if Jalen Watson doesn't come back to camp looking, great after injury recovery, this guy could be quarterback too. Having Fulton on one side, him on the other, and McDuffie in the middle. I mean, this guy could come in and be an instant starter.
He could be, and I'm going to be honest with you. He needs to be maybe not an instant starter, but he needs to be instant impact on defense. We to draft a return guy in the 4th round is just unacceptable. I know that's a side thing that he could be good
we
at.
drafted a few
get
people that are return guys.
Yeah, and our running back we're going to talk about later. I'm worried that might be what he's all about. But that's
not only him,
round,
but
so not a
the
big deal.
wideout too.
Yeah, so I understand that there's some possibility there, and the fact that this guy can be multifaceted, play a good, a backfield position, and then be a return specialist also. But I love Nico Remigio still in that role. I'm not ready for him to go. I love him on this team. So and I think he's done very, very well as a returner.
I think with the amount of returners we got in the draft, if they're on the team, and unfortunately, I think his days could be numbered.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
But we'll have to see. I'm not sure about that, but
I just think he excelled. He really did. He wasn't just an average return guy. He was damn good as a return guy. Didn't have any. Did he have a touchdown? I don't think he had any touchdowns.
Who?
Remigio.
Remigio, no. He got close though, and it was funny because Bill Belichick talked about him on Inside the NFL, and he was like, nobody knew about this guy. And I was like, Chiefs Kingdom knew about this guy. I don't know what you're talking about.
And I mean, he had some big returns too. We're not talking about 1 or 2. I mean, he was solid as a returner. So that's going to break my heart a little bit. But it does kind of, like you said, there's 3 guys that we just drafted that could take over that role. So it's a little scary. But my point about Noel Williams specifically is if this guy pans out to only be a return guy, then this is a huge fail in the draft.
Now, if that happens, I don't think that's gonna. This guy's a ball hawk, dude. This guy led the nation in interceptions, and one was for a TD. I mean, this guy is a hawk.
Well, I also think
that he's a chippy, rough player, dude.
Spagnuolo gets the absolute best out of everybody, especially in the backfield. He really tends to get the best out of these guys. So I'm not too concerned about it. I'll say I agree
tackles too.
He's favorite. This was my favorite pick of the draft for me as well.
I'm getting goosebumps thinking about him, dude.
Don't say A plus though. Don't say A plus. Don't say A plus.
So this is where we get into day 3. Everybody we took was slotted to go way earlier than we took him. I mean, this guy shouldn't have been there. I don't know why he was there.
It was the refs.
This is definitely a plus pick for me. Definitely. He's going to be an impact on defense. I mean, he's the one that's probably going to start immediately.
Man, I was going to say A plus. That's why I didn't want you to say A plus.
Well, you should because it is.
We both can't say A plus.
Yes, we can.
It's got more impact if I say A plus after you're like, well, I can't say A plus.
Yeah, I will say this is my only A+.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, the Simmons could have been. I honestly, it wouldn't hurt us to go back after the season's over and regrade how the draft went you know, after the fact, after the whole season's over. That'd be fun.
Yeah. It'll be interesting because we'll be able to go back and get our grade from before and see if we were right or we were wrong.
Or we were wrong. Yeah.
But I think a lot of my grades
It's
are
so
also
close on everyone.
A lot of my grades are also going to the fact that I think this draft we took best player available rather than drafts past. So I'm giving grades on guys, I don't think Norman-Lott's going to be a huge impact until 2026, but I think he's going to have some impact, this year. Same with Gelati, you know what I mean? Same with Josh Simmons. Like,
what's
I think
funny?
that's the beauty of having so much depth at the moment.
Yeah, what's funny is when we did our Brett Veach episode after his press conference, and I said I don't believe him at all. He offensive and defensive line, cornerback, wide receiver. I mean, he only used the first 5 picks of his draft for offensive and defensive line, corner, and wide receiver. I mean, he told us what he was going to do, and then he did it.
Yep.
Damn it, these head games.
I love this. I love this pick, though, dude. I love this pick.
Yeah, this was an amazing pick. It really was.
I have a little bit of a man crush.
And he's not tiny either. He's 6 foot, 200 pounds. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a beast. What does King Jamie here say?
I like how Veach sees it, though. And when he misses in the draft, he gets just good enough until said missed picks are free agents. He has a vision. I will agree with you. He absolutely has a vision. But he also knows that, Spagnolo or Spagnoli, as some like to say.
Just stick with Spags, guys. It'll just make your life easier.
Well, it was one of the draft guys that said Spagnoli.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. That's what I'm talking to.
But I mean, this guy, I almost feel like Spags is overlooked as an absolute savant at what he does because the focus is on Andy Reid and his greatness and Brett Veach and what he's able to do. It's almost like an afterthought what Spags does, but Spags might be the most important piece of this puzzle, this coaching,
that's
head office.
That's the problem. If you look at Chiefs, if you look at all fan stuff, if you look at, hey, who was your favorite pick in day 1 and 2, and they put the 4 people up there. 75% of the fans vote Josh Simmons. Then you'll look at the day 3 picks, and everybody picks the wide receiver, 70% there. The majority of fans neglect and don't care about defense. And I'm sitting here wearing Eric Berry's jersey that I bought long ago, and I love defense, and defense is so important, and so many fans just do not give it the love that it deserves. And I think fans like you and I that love D, we know Spags. We even know Tobe. I mean, we respect and love special teams too, where other people look at it like, okay.
King Jamie says we're spoiled, and I'm okay with that. It was a lot of years we had to be sad Sundays, but we are still loyal, baby. That's damn straight. We're very
that's
loyal.
So true. I remember it used to just ruin my day.
Oh yeah, back in the day when
my day, man,
we would lose 56-54. God, man, get a stop. I mean, that was a long time ago, but.
Yeah, every time I've talked to Sean Barber, that kind of comes up, and it's just we're talking about the current Bengals, but he's just I did as much as I could, man. But we didn't have it. Like, we had 75% of the money, or probably 85% of the money on offense.
Yeah.
And then, like 15% of the money on defense. I mean, we had a converted, like a complete special teamer. I forget his name. Maybe Chad can help me out. We had him and we moved him to the Mike. We moved him to the Mike middle linebacker. I forget his name. He was a beast on special teams, but he was a special teamer, kind of like.
I think I kind of remember that. Yeah.
Oh, what was his name? He was a white guy. I loved him on special teams. It's kind of like Dirty Dan, like somebody who would make Dirty Dan Sorensen a starting free safety. We would have done that in that old team. And
well, I mean,
Dirty Dan,
we did it a few times that year.
We didn't have him starting. No, he was a gadget guy.
But he did start a few games.
Maybe from injury or something.
I definitely remember watching and turning on the game and seeing Dan Sorensen, and I love the guy. I love his heart. Love the way, his tenacity, the way he played the game. But man, he was not a starting safety in the NFL. I knew that our defense was going to have a long day when Dan Sorensen was starting.
Okay, I guess you're right. He did start 39 games during his 8 seasons with us.
Yeah, he definitely wasn't an every week starter, but there was that one year that he
You're right,
had.
though. Yeah. You're right. Yeah, my bad. I bow down to you, Buck.
But I would still say that he is a fan favorite. He's still a fan favorite, though, man. Even though he wasn't a starter, as far as being.
That's why he got the name Dirty Dan. Like, he was the guy that came in, Like, he was on my first Chiefs Super Bowl run calendar. He's on, I forget what month.
Yeah. King Jamie, that might be a little too revealing. I miss the sausage, too.
Oh, yeah. What's his name? Got a pick on us in the Saints game. The huge bully ball
Saunders.
Saunders. They could do.
I don't think that's who he's talking about. Sherman. Yeah, he's talking about Sherman.
Oh,
the fullback. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, the other guy is kind of a sausage too. Will that get us demonetized on YouTube? I just found out there's a ton of words that take you out of the algorithm. We have to. I'm gonna send that to you, Buck.
Okay.
Yeah.
For what it's worth.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Just don't say the KIL. Don't say any word close to that. I think. Yeah. I've been wondering why certain episodes, are very different than others, and I think I might have figured something out. We broke the code. All right. Well. All right. I'm excited about. I'm so excited, but we do have 3 more picks to talk about. But we're going to take a quick commercial break. It's just me talking, but it's just to give everybody who might not be in on the giveaway information on the coming up giveaway. So here it comes.
Our YouTube channel is doing a giveaway to try and give back to you, but also help us at the same time.
What's going on?
Recently, we were able to sit down with Tom Bahali,
have moved up 10
and we got to have a fun episode with him. Had a great conversation.
Okay. Now we're doing it for real.
You still have a high voice, Bob.
Our YouTube channel is doing a giveaway to try and give back to you, but also help us at the same time. Recently, we were able to sit down with Tom Bahali, and we got to have a fun episode with him. Had a great conversation. And at the end, he was kind enough to sign 3 photos of him. And one of them I've got back on my wall here. I don't know if you can see it. I can't point to it, but it's right there. And then the other one went to Buck. And then this one right here is going to go to one of you guys. and it is already framed. It's a great giveaway. One caveat though, we will only pay for shipping to ship it to the United States. So for anybody listening overseas or out of the country, I apologize about that. All right, guys, here's how you enter. You get one entry for each video that you like and comment on. We will be doing 4 podcasts in this month time. April 21st will be the first one. Then the last one will be May 12th, and the last day to actually enter is May 16th. All you got to do, like and comment, and you get one entry. So you can for sure get 4 entries. And then on top of that, we don't know how many news videos we will put out, but you can get more entries each news video. If we do our 4 podcasts and we do 3 news videos, you can get up to 7 entries. Last day to do it will be May 16th. So if you're hearing this and it's a month into the competition, you can go and put comments and like the older videos. As long as it's done before May 16th, that's the day that the cutoff is. May 17th, I will tally up everybody's entries. Then on the following show that week, May 19th, we will do the drawing for it live, and we'll do it using random.org, and we will show the spreadsheet with the numbers on it beforehand. So you'll see everything's legit. Thank you and good luck.
Wow, that is going to be such a
There we
cool gift for somebody to get. And I'm glad you fixed your audio there, buddy. Did you forget?
Yeah, I did.
Changed it? I knew you did. I knew you did, man. I'm like, he's gonna get all the way to the commercial. He's completely forgotten about it. I
did.
If you watch the playback after this gets released, you can watch it. I am smiling from ear to ear.
Oh, I was watching. I was like, somebody's making fun of the comments or something. But I was like in the middle of my little spiel, and
then in my head, I'm like, chat, don't tell him. He's forgotten. Please don't say it. We could go the whole episode like this, guys.
Oh my gosh.
And then you started the ad, and it was, you're like, what's going on? I was like, Bob, your audio, buddy.
I mean, it could have been worse.
This is how it goes though with live shows, man. Like you just get what you get.
Doing it live. Doing it live.
Yep.
Oh man. All right. Well, we're back, guys. Make sure to get in on that, because even there's an Eagles fan that left a comment, and I'm like, damn, I'm gonna have to give him an entry. That's gonna suck.
Did he like also?
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Doesn't that suck? Yeah. But I mean, it's I gotta be fair. Although I will say, when we do the drawing, we'll do 3 of them. So we'll have first, second, and third. And if 2 weeks time goes on and they don't get a hold of me, they don't email, then it'll go to the next person. So
that's fair.
Yeah, I want to have it all legit, straight up, on the show, so people could see us using random.org and see the spreadsheet. And
what is the date of the first video that is eligible to be liked and commented?
All right, well, maybe I should have said it, but shorts are not eligible.
Okay.
But those are called shorts. I said news videos and podcasts. So the first date, I said it in the thing, it was last week's podcast on the 21st. Okay. And then the cutoff date is
the 26th.
Was it
May 26th or May 16th? Sorry, May 16th.
Yeah. So then I will tally it up that Saturday, just from everything, or I'll do it that Friday night possibly, but then we'll actually do the roll and do the random drawing on the show on the 19th. So
I'm excited. You've done a bunch of these with your other podcasts, but I've never done one of these.
it's
So
fun to give something to people that
I
really
know,
like
and
it. Like
appreciate it. Yeah.
yeah, I did.
That's why I don't want the Eagles fan to get it.
When I did my World of Warcraft podcast, like, like Blizzard used to send me all kinds of stuff, and like I just didn't keep it all. They'd send me these huge chests of like stuff, swag, and I'd be like, well, let's give this back to people. So I'm hoping as time goes on, maybe fans of the show will send stuff in for us to give out to other people. I mean, I'd love to do more giveaways, but maybe we have to get on like some sort of Chiefs list to be able to do that, but I don't know. All right, well, let's get back to the show. So moving on to day 3, I was dead tired at this point because we did 2 news videos, and there's a lot more work than you guys could even imagine, I think.
And I had my 5-year-old, and she was super extra because I had just picked her up, so there was no chance I was going to catch any of it on Saturday.
Well, I caught it, but I was just dead on the couch, like, But after our picks, I really wished we would have made a video because it's just, I mean, we did well on the next day. So next up, we had our 5th round pick that we got for trading back for Josh Simmons in the 1st. However, we didn't use, or wait, no, this the one we moved up? No, we didn't. No, I don't know. I'll just play it.
Out in a second.
This was interesting.
Was geht, Green Bay? Chiefs Kingdom is here, and the German Arrowheads are ready for the next. With the 133rd pick in the 2025
International Fan
NFL
Club
Draft, the Kansas City Chiefs select Jalen Royds, wide receiver, Utah State.
Oh, it's a Kansas City Royals.
Time to run it back.
I wanted to ask you something about your game specifically. Obviously, your yards after the catch really stands out. Can you kind of take me through the pride that you take in that, and then just your ability to do that?
Yeah, just trying to add some couple yards to the catch, and it's definitely been a factor in my game. I played running back growing up, so I'm used to getting some yards at the contact and yards at the catch, and just helping the offense. Maybe 3 yards, each catch. Be helpful.
Andy Reid loves to move his receivers everywhere across the line of scrimmage. What in your experience leads you to believe that you'll be capable of doing that at this level?
I play outside, inside, in college, and even at my JUCO. So I'm used to it, and I'm ready to impact whatever coach needs me. So.
Hey, Jalen, 2 quick questions for you. I know this happened like 5 minutes ago, but what's it mean to you that you're going to catch passes from Patrick Mahomes next season?
It means a lot. They're the best quarterback in the league, so just catch passes from him is amazing.
And secondly, are you a baseball fan at all?
I've just started getting into baseball. Our quarterback back at Utah State, he's a big baseball fan, so he's trying to get me into it.
Well, the team in Kansas City is the Royals. Are you aware of that?
No.
Match made in heaven.
Yes.
How excited are you to be part of, this Andy Reid offense and, everything that they're able to do here?
Super excited. They've shown they can be the best offense in the league, year in and year out. So I'm extremely excited.
All right. So Royals is now a Chief playing next to Royals Stadium.
That's why I wore my jersey, baby, because of this pick. No, that's a complete lie.
What about the jersey I gave you?
Is this the one you know? This
the one I gave you is like the super, like the actual legit.
I mean, it's
like
in my closet.
Jersey,
this was my dad's jersey. So that's
so it beats more.
Yeah.
I got it.
Yeah.
I got it.
But so my take on Royals, I do like his size, 6'0", 205. He's kind of a bigger guy. His instincts are fantastic, right? He's really good against the zone. He's really good at finding the spot against the zone, but he doesn't run really great crisp routes. He doesn't have a real fast cut and run. So the problem is going to be with man to man with this guy. Like, and we know Mahomes doesn't like to throw to guys that can't get open. So against the zone, he can get open, but I think we're going to run into a lot of man to man situations.
Yeah, I think he's definitely. What's good about him is he definitely knows the X, but and he did move in. He did move inside quite a bit, but he's just. Sorry, I'm looking at the chat. I'm getting. I'll just I'll just say it real quick. HC Chiefs fan, he's asking like what lot we're in and stuff when we go to tailgate. Buck and I have gone and are planning to do it again this year, where we go and interview fans out at the tailgate, but we basically just walk around the entire thing and interview people and then go back and watch it at home. Like, we can't really afford to go to the games. It was kind of like a treat that we got to go to the Monday night game.
Yeah.
So, but
it was amazing.
We will definitely this year we will be telling people that we're coming and to watch out for us, on the times that we're going to come, because I think we can make those videos a lot more fun now with the experience we've gotten. So I think that's something we can do, and we can definitely plan to meet up with any fans of the show that would like to, and so that's definitely a thing. But
you got to bring us a beer.
Yes, please. Oh, dude, nobody would give us beers.
Yeah. There were other things people were willing to share, but not beer.
We'll take that too, though. We'll take that too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not picky.
But yeah, so I think this guy has a lot to give. I just don't think this year. I don't think he's going to be straight up ready this year. Especially, we got a lot of depth in the receiving room at the moment. And, it depends on the Rashee Rice suspension, but I think this kid will be something for the years to come, because lots of our guys are 1-year free agents. So,
right. And the biggest thing, the biggest positive for me out of everything that I've seen from him is one word, and that's coachable. And that means, to me, attitude, right? So what kind of attitude is this guy coming in with? Is he already feel like he's the guy he wants to be and he's not willing to learn, or is he coachable? And they say he is coachable. So we'll see. A lot of the things that we're talking about here are coachable things, I believe. So yeah, I think you're right. I think that this could be a draft for the future of the wide receiver room. It could be a good pickup.
And I'm not super sold on him yet or anything. I mean, I'm just gonna have to see. Like, wide receivers are so hard for me to judge, if I'm being honest. Yeah, I'm just so.
Yeah, because you can see there's a lot of mental involved with wide receiver, along with the physical abilities. They've got to. There's a lot that they have to know and see. It's just like with the running back, and you talk about his ability to read the field. And see the holes before they develop. Wide receiver, it's the same kind of idea, but you want to see the holes before you have the ball, and maybe even be able to create holes. So that's something that's coachable. So I think if he can stay coachable, he's got some intangibles, but he's got to, I think, his I kind of talked about it earlier. He doesn't have like explosiveness. That's the word I'm looking for. He doesn't really have explosiveness. That's the one thing that does worry me, because that I don't think that that's coachable. I could be wrong. What do you guys think? Is explosiveness coachable?
I mean,
maybe it's trainable.
I mean, maybe with technique, but I mean, not really. That's just talent. But I think you can definitely get a little bit better technique in your explosiveness
Right.
off the line.
Mhm.
But I don't, it still
Learn
comes
how to run
down
your routes
to
better.
calf muscles and, leg muscles and, all of that. Like it's not like a pass rush technique, like where you can learn different moves and stuff. But I do like he does, how I talked about this about a Xavier Worthy, when Xavier Worthy early on was running routes
Mhm.
and running the ball, he didn't vary his speed. And I think that's so important to make people misjudge, to make defenders misjudge and miss you. That's what Tyreek was so good with. Like, if you ever see Tyreek run a big play, watch him. He does this thing where he kind of slows down, he's in slow motion, and then he hops and he goes. Like,
Yeah, he does that a lot.
like, and that's the type of thing that makes
the old hop and go.
defenders slow down. And this guy definitely has it. Royals has that. Like, he has the varying speed in his routes and once he gets the ball. I'm not positive Worthy has it in his routes, but he definitely didn't have it once he got the ball. He was running at full speed every time until later in the year. And that was his biggest problem. Like, he's not really even getting to use his speed, because these guys in the NFL, unlike college, the guys in the NFL defending know, like, they know how to actually close that gap. What's the word I'm looking for? Where you're choosing the line to run to where the runner's going to be once you get to him. Angle. Like, they're taking the right angles. Like, does this not make complete sense to you?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I was
So-
not looking for that word, so I was a little confused.
Yeah, so
I hear you.
if a defender's running at a 45-degree angle at their wideout, these NFL guys know that's how they have to go at the speed he's going. For a ball carrier to vary speed, that is what screws up NFL defenders. Whereas Worthy in college got away with just being fast.
Super
and so
fast, yeah.
that's what I think Worthy came on better with, as the season went on. And this guy already has that. So that part's cool. He gets the ball. I'm excited about him, but not as excited about the next two guys. I'm sad to say. But what are our grades first before?
Oh, I'll give Royals a C. I guess he's good for where we picked him up, and so maybe a C plus. There's a lot of potential, but there's a lot that needs to be there before I think he's ready.
This is one of the ones that our boys, our friends over at All Chiefed Up got right. This was on Steve's draft board.
Yeah.
He thought he was going to take him a different spot, but
if you hit on the guy, yeah, I think that's pretty big.
They hit on 2 this year. I think they hit 3 last year.
Wow.
They're good. They're good at draft coverage. They're really good.
Wow.
But I'm not sold on him yet. I'm actually going to give it a B minus though. And I do think he's a really good addition to the room, and he can move around the slot outside. Like, I'm going to give it a B minus.
One thing I kind of mentioned up front was, for the guys that they drafted, I think they did pretty well. And maybe I'm being a little harsh on Royals here, but I think that this is probably where they should have gone running back. I mean, I really wanted them to move way up in the first round.
That's what I wanted.
And go for a big time running back. But when we saw that wasn't going to happen, I just was really sad to see that they waited till the 7th round. They were almost like, oh shit, we forgot a running back. We got one more pick. Sweet. And that's what you get in the 7th round. I mean, I think Pacheco is like A+ 7th round. And I just don't think that you're going to get anything better than Pacheco out of 7th round. And if that's what we're throwing at the running back position to add to that room, I mean, we don't know what we're going to get from Elijah Mitchell. There is a possibility that he could be the workhorse this season, and we don't have a lot to worry about. But as a Chiefs fan, outside looking in, that seems to me to be the biggest need by far right now on this team, especially after the draft. I think running back is the biggest question mark right now.
Yeah,
so I
see,
think I think that should have been addressed before wide receiver.
In my dream world, which I knew wasn't going to happen, I wanted to move up and get one of the two big sucker running backs.
Ashton Genty, you wanted him.
Yeah, definitely. But after day one, and I knew that wasn't going to happen. But after day one, I really wanted the Chiefs to move up in round 2 and get Travion Henderson. Really wanted that. But that didn't happen. And the defense getting sacks and getting pressures means that Patrick Mahomes gets more chances at the ball too. So RD was solid last year, but they were on the field for way too long. Yes, they held teams down on points, but they were on the field way too long. And
well, part of the reason that they were on the field way too long is because the offense was on the field for way not long enough. A lot. And that's tough on a defense when it's quarter after quarter, game after game. That wears them down pretty quick. So yeah, you're right. I mean, hopefully that'll give Mahomes more opportunities, but this offense needs to really cash in. I think we tend to forget that there was one big, huge elephant in the room, glaring problem that we think that the Chiefs have addressed on offense to really fix that, what we had to put a Band-Aid on last year with Joe Thuney. But we'll see. I mean, this left tackle is not an easy position to fill. So let's hope we've got that taken care of for the foreseeable future.
All right. Moving on to our second to last pick. A lot of people hated this pick. And I absolutely love this pick. But you know me, I'm a big smart linebacker fan. And this guy fits that mold. So let me just play it.
The Pittsburgh Steelers have traded the 156th pick to the Kansas City Chiefs. With the 156th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Kansas City Chiefs select Jeffrey Bassa, linebacker, Oregon.
Just curious how much you've got to watch the Chiefs or follow the Chiefs the last few years, and what you know about what they have going on here.
Yeah, you honestly playing football, obviously at a high level. Just watching football on Sundays. After your games on Saturdays, you're so used to watching the Chiefs and everything that they do great, right? Especially obviously they have Patrick Mahomes, great quarterback who's always being talked about. So just a great organization and great program, right, and great culture filled with great people, right, and then. All the history that they've had over the past couple of years, guys in the past, Alex Smith, and then, legendary head coach Andy Reid, and then especially in my room, guys like Nick Bolton. So I think, just having the opportunity to be able to, watch them and then now be a part of that, I think it means a lot. And I'm so blessed to be in this opportunity and be in this position.
Yeah, I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about your transition from the safety position and how, and know you're a wide receiver as well in high school, and how that's aided you at the linebacker position.
Yeah, so throughout high school, coming out of college, I came out of college as safety, and then my first year under Coach Cristobal, it was week 1. I was behind 2 seniors at the time, still playing that star nickel position. Didn't really get a lot of PT when it came to defensive snaps, but got a lot of playing time when it came to special teams. And then week 2, we were going to go play Ohio State. Their place, it was CJ Stroud's first start, if I can remember, to that 2021 season. And so leading up to the week, that walkthrough that Sunday or Monday, my DB coach at the time, Marcel Yates, came up to me and he told me that we had some injuries in the linebacker room, and I know that you're a guy who's really smart and wants to, make a huge contribution to the team and, make impact. And I wanted to play early. So he knew all of my goals. And so we know that I was the biggest safety in the room. And so they put me in the linebacker room, and they were just saying, like, if you can go in and learn these plays and you can change the impact of, your career, and, making that transition from safety to linebacker can help you out a lot when it comes to, coverage, or when it comes to just knowing the full defense. Right. So I took that opportunity around with it. I'm so blessed that, I had that opportunity to, have a little bit of adversity with a position change, early on in my career, to be able to help me be the player and man that I am today.
First, you mentioned the moving around and playing different positions, but inside, outside, at the NFL level and coming out of that hybrid front the last few years, what position do you see yourself best suited to? Is it Will? Is it Mike? Do you feel like you can move back between the two pretty easily?
Yeah, really either or. Whatever position that, Coach Spags and Coach Reed and all the coaches see me at, I really feel like I'll be most comfortable in. Really, my main mindset heading into, this first year is going to be to learn from guys like, Drew and guys like Nick. So be able to come in with a growth mindset, with the open mindset, whatever position that they see me at, that's the position that I'm going to master and put my best foot forward for.
How much have you watched the Chiefs and this defense in particular, and the linebackers? And so how much do you know about them already?
Yeah, I know a lot about them. Obviously, them re-signing Nick Bolton this past, free agency, right? And then as well as the defense, everybody, Coach Spags is crazy when it comes to defense, being a great defensive mind, right? With the blitzes and, zone coverages and zone dogs that he draws up, right? So with them just having elite defense, I feel like, I'm a guy who takes a lot of pride in watching a lot of film. And, when I'm not watching, or when I'm not playing football, or, at practice, I'm always watching football, right? So when I have the opportunity to see the Chiefs on the field, just seeing all the linebackers flying around, how much of an impact they have on the success of their defense, I'm so grateful to be in that position now. A linebacker that can cover, a linebacker that can also stop the run. But then if I'm matched up on receivers in coverage, sometimes if, that's going to happen in certain coverages, right? That's no mismatch for me, because, especially with my speed and just from what I've done in my DB days, right? And so I feel like also a smart linebacker that can also, blitz off the edge, but then blitz interior, be matched up on, linemen when it comes to blitzing, getting sent home on blitzes, but then as well as when I'm matched up on running backs and pass protection, a guy who's going to win. So you better bring in a game for that.
How did the culture at Oregon kind of prepare you for the NFL, and specifically, how will that preparation make you a seamless fit to the Chiefs organization?
Yeah, I think just the work that we put in, day out. Me being a guy who stayed at Oregon for all 4 years, to be able to go through, a coaching change and stay there for the next 3 years, right? But I think just the culture that we have at Oregon, just playing a physical brand of football, but then also being fast on the defensive side of the ball, I'm speaking, but as well as just the connection and bond that we have with one another. I feel like the Chiefs have the same exact type of culture, and even better, championship type of culture, where guys, have true, genuine love and connection and a true brotherhood and bond for each other, right? So, and you see that out of the linebacker room. Those guys really love each other, right? And especially the guys on defense as well. So I feel like that helped me translate, or that's going to help me translate into the Chiefs locker room very well. A guy who's going to come with a growth and open mindset, a guy who's going to be a sponge to learn from vets and learn from, other rookies beside me, but just a guy who's going to come in and, put his best foot forward every day. I'm going to give my best and my all for, the city of Kansas City.
Holy crap, dude. Okay, so all of the Chiefs did pressers after this, like all the draft picks, they were about 5 minutes long. His was 11 and a half minutes long. I wanted to put the entire thing on. I mean, he answered every question so in depth, and I mean,
And he
just
wasn't
his
just talking
answers.
out of his ass.
Yeah.
He sounded well thought out, very articulate. You could tell he wasn't rushed. He wasn't nervous. When he would make a mistake, he would stop for a second, think about it, and answer it the correct way that he wanted to, so that he wasn't given the. It was very impressive, man. That was fun to listen to. That guy.
And dude, he had the green dot. Like he's a possible Mike. Like, you know, if
He's a potential
Bolton
starter.
went down, I
in the
mean,
future.
he could play Will. I mean, he might. Yeah, I don't know if I don't know if he'll start this year, but
Right.
I mean,
don't
we're
think-
talking.
It might be a couple of years.
I don't know
He
about
has
that.
to learn so he's good in man to man, but he's not very good against the run. And that's, I would say, probably the biggest area of opportunity that this defense has is defending the run.
Aren't you thinking about? Well, here, hold on. If he's a backup Mike, what's Nick Bolton good against and bad against?
Well, Nick Bolton is good in man to man
against the run and bad against coverage.
Well, yeah, bad against.
Well, not bad, but not great.
Right.
Right. So this kid could be in on passing downs. I'm just saying, as you know,
so you think they would take Bolton out and put him in on passing downs?
Well, Bolton can't be in every play. I don't think they would do that on every down, but I think a for sure passing down, he could definitely be in, like on a third and long, like type of deal. I think definitely. Like, but I mean, just watch this first play here. Boom, to the house. I mean, this guy is a badass, and the way he talks, it's just, I mean, it's beautiful, man. It's beautiful. Mm-hmm. And the way he talks about in the locker room, they're a family. I mean, you believe it.
Yeah.
Because it's probably true.
Yeah.
I mean,
he seems genuine. You know, you could usually tell when somebody's full of shit, and he doesn't seem like that. He seems like a genuine guy.
Oh man, I'm so excited about him. And he's a converted safety.
Yeah, I heard that too. Yeah.
So you know who else? One of my favorite players of all time was a college player converted from safety to middle linebacker.
No, I don't know.
A little guy named Brian Urlacher.
Yeah, little guy. He was a safety.
He was a safety in college.
Did he bulk up after that?
Converted. Yeah, well, I mean, so did Jeffrey Bassa. I mean, they have to when they switch spots. But yeah, Brian Urlacher was a safety for most of college.
That's interesting.
I mean, that gives them good ball skills. I think he was a wide receiver in high school, maybe. But yeah,
Bassa?
I mean,
or
yeah.
Urlacher. Oh, Bassa. They didn't say that, but yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm not really worried about I mean, interceptions are great and they're really, really cool and they look great on a stat line. But at the end of the day, I really just want them a defensive person to disrupt the ball in some way. If they can catch it, that's like cherry on top of the cupcake. But just the frosting, knock it down.
Yeah, I think, and he seems like a guy that'll be down to play special teams, for the first year or two. I mean, that's going to be huge. I mean, Bolton, I love Bolton, but after Bolton's 3-year contract, I don't know that he'll still be like holding up. I mean, he's been injured a good number of times, and your body just doesn't hold up, no matter how smart you are. So I think this kid is huge to get in and have Bolton mentor him. I loved every answer he gave. I love the glasses.
Did you hear what
I
when the
wear
video
the nerd
started?
glasses.
When the
Yeah.
videos, he's wearing glasses. He's already
Mhm.
smarter.
Yep, that's the whole reason I wear them. Have you ever seen me without them on? I look dumb.
I've known you for 25 years. Yes, I've seen you without your glasses on.
Well, you haven't seen me on the podcast without them.
Oh, maybe not. I haven't been paying attention to that.
Yep, and I don't even have to wear them. I mean, like, I can drive without glasses. I have a very slight correction. I tell people it's the difference between standard definition when I have my glasses off and high definition if I have my glasses on.
I should wear glasses, but I just don't like to. The only time I have to wear them is when I drive at night.
Oh, I love them. I love my glasses.
Getting old sucks.
I love the glasses. Dude, the glasses are so, it's just like a, little nerd barrier that I have. And I have to have them as nerdy as I can. And his were even nerdier than mine, which is great.
What? Mine aren't nerdy.
No, his were even nerdier
Oh,
than mine.
you mean Bassa's. Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah. No, Bassa was playing the nerd. Playing the nerd with those glasses. I loved it. Absolutely. I think it looks cool when a big old professional football player is all nerded out. I think that's awesome.
Yep, and we did actually move up to grab him, and I was so pissed because I was like, another running back opportunity gone. I was so bad. I didn't even know the running backs that were left. I'll be honest, I didn't even know what was left, and I was just like, we're not going to get a running back. We're going to get a 7th round running back, and oh my god, another Pacheco. And Pacheco's great, but come on, guys. Like Pacheco, even when he had, the Super Bowl season, he still wasn't an A+ back. I mean, he runs into his own line, he runs like he hates the ground. Yes, but
here's what I will say to people that argue for Pacheco. So Bob and I and Mel had this discussion several times early on in the season, and Mel and I absolutely vehemently we defended Pacheco as being a hardcore runner, and Bob's like, no, he doesn't break tackles, and we were like, you're crazy. So I sat down and I watched the Pacheco highlight reel for 2023. It was like 20 minutes long, and if he broke 3 tackles, I would be surprised. He'll drag tacklers, and Bob didn't deny that. He will drag tacklers.
Yeah, he's a hard runner. He's tough.
He's crafty. He does have some moves, but he is not going to break tackles. And to be a number 1 back in this league, you have to be able to break tackles.
And King Jamie says, I don't care what you say.
Oh, I love him too.
The kid. I absolutely love him, and I hate that I have to say this, but I have to keep it real, man. I hate that I have to say this.
And he is by far a fan favorite. When we were doing our interviews before the games at the Chiefs Stadium, he was the most popular answer. We asked every single person, who's your favorite player? It was more than half was Pacheco, and this was while he was injured.
We didn't even say. We said it half the time besides Mahomes, but the second time we did it, we didn't even say besides Mahomes that he was the most popular. I mean,
oh yeah,
he's a good dude, and you want him to be amazing. And hopefully, watching Kareem Hunt, while he was injured, hopefully he learned some stuff because Kareem that's the only thing Pacheco lacks. I mean, he doesn't have to break tackles to be an awesome back, but he's a power back that can't break tackles, and that's where the problem comes in. But if he could get the vision that Kareem Hunt has, he could be an extraordinary back. But I don't know that that's something that can be coached. I'm just not sure.
Right.
He runs into his own line a lot. And same thing with Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Like, he did the same thing. It's just like you're rearing to go and you run, and then you run into your own guys. And also, you have to remember, Clyde Edwards-Helaire or Pacheco could do better in an offense that doesn't do zone blocking for their offensive line. Like a different line could be, like, a different scheme could be better for them, So zone blocking makes it harder on the running backs. That's why I wanted a stud so bad. So yeah, but yeah, Jeffrey Bassa, what do you give the grade on this?
I mean, just because of where we were able to pick him up, I think it's an A-, B+ at worst. I mean, he really, when you're talking about that low down in the draft, to be that excited about that kind of player is, I mean, you can't give it less than a B.
Yeah, I even though I love the kid, I give it a B+, just because I don't, we just signed Bolton, and I think he's more of a Mike backer, and I don't know that he's gonna be. I should make it an A-, but if I make it an A-, it's not based on. It's based on how, like, well spoken he is. I'm gonna have to say B+ because I think he definitely has, some time before he's going to be an immediate impact.
Well, King Jamie says B-.
Well,
I'd be interested. Yeah, I'd be interested to hear his reasoning for that. Brian Parrott said the vision thing is consistent with players who have experience at quarterback, even if it was high school. They're taught to see the field like film, not the opponent.
Interesting. That's an interesting thought. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I mean,
so it could be teachable.
Well, and I mean, receiving running backs are oftentimes converted wide receivers, which brings us to our next one. Let's go ahead and play the last pick of the Chiefs draft.
The New England Patriots have traded the 228th pick to the Kansas City Chiefs. With the 228th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Kansas City Chiefs select Brashard Smith, running back, Southern Methodist.
Tell us about your position switch in college, going from a wide receiver to a running back, and what kind of challenges were involved with that?
I'll say switching from receiver to running back. It was the more challenges would be just running and lining up inside the hole. I'll say just being more patient and actually being a back that has to hit and get tackled a lot. I'll say it's very different. I'll say I won't say it was pretty easy change for me, but I was familiar with running back growing up. So as far as just making the switch, it was kind of just just getting back to playing running back for sure.
What was it that led you to make that leap of faith and make the change and go to SMU and change positions?
So just me and Coach Lashley, we got a good bond with each other. So as I hit the transfer portal, he kind of hit me up and was kind of telling me what he seen me on his offense and where he seen me on his offense. And he was telling me how I could be just a dynamic back coming out the backfield, just a starting running back, but just coming out the backfield, going out receiver, just moving around here and there. So we kind of had an agreement, and we were all locked in since day one.
I was wondering, which backs have you looked up to that you mold your game after?
I kind of watch Jahmyr Gibbs, James Cook, Alvin Kamara. That's probably the top three guys I kind of watch a lot as far as running back.
Thank you. And Also, too, Andy Reid has just such an affinity for the screen game, well known. Just your comfortability with some of that stuff.
Yes, sir. I can't wait for that for sure.
Knowing some of the guys that the Chiefs already have in the backfield, how ready are you to come in and compete for a roster spot with that group?
I'm so ready. I'll say I'm so juiced up, and I feel like you guys will see it for sure. Just day one, I'm gonna show everyone what I'm capable of for sure. And I'll say just as far as the running back room, I feel like we'll all get each other better as far as just working hard every day for sure.
Good answer. We'll all make each other better. So, man, I love this dude's speed. I was upset about not taking a running back, and this guy is not the type of running back that I wanted. I wanted a running back, as Steve from ACU said, a lot more eloquently than me. Said he but I gave him the idea when he came on our show. I said I want a running back that's elite, so Andy Reid actually uses him. But Steve has changed that into he wants a running back that Andy can't ignore, which is so much a better way to say it. I don't know why I didn't think to say it that way in the first place, but yeah, this guy is not that. This guy's been compared a lot to Tyreek Hill because he's a converted wide receiver. Problem is, though, I don't think this is like a Tyreek Hill, because Tyreek Hill, if anybody remembers back, was not a great running back when he came to us. Like we converted him to wide receiver because wasn't really working out at running back. So this guy actually did well when he converted to running back. I think he's more like a Brian Westbrook type of back. Like not going
Well, he
to
compared
be
himself to Alvin Kamara.
Yeah, but I don't think he's no. They asked him
Who
who
he
he
watches.
tries to model his game
Right,
after.
right, which
But I don't
seems-
think he's an Alvin. He reminds me, looking at film, more of a Brian Westbrook type of back, like a back that could just catch everything. But I don't know that you're going to be using him to run through the trenches constantly.
King Jamie says Andy wants a new Jerick McKinnon. Yeah, I mean that's if he's able to see any time on the field, that's what we're going to see is screens. I mean, I don't think he's going to go running through the tackles a whole lot.
I mean, he did in college, but I mean, college is a different game.
Whole different breed.
Yeah, and Jamie says a new Shady. I don't think it's a new Shady. I do think it's a new Brian Westbrook, though. Like, I think and if you look back at Brian Westbrook's first season, I know it well because it was the first year that I played fantasy football and won the championship. And Brian Westbrook was a big part of that. But he was used sparingly. And I think this is a very Brian Westbrook type of player. And I don't think he's like Tyreek Hill. I don't think he's going to convert to wideout. I think he's better than Tyreek Hill was at running back, but he's small. He's not going to be a workload back. But did you look up anything on him? What are your thoughts? Because we talked about all of the other picks except for the day 3 picks.
Yeah, no. So I mean, I didn't watch any film on him, but everything that I read, it just seems to me that this is a return guy, and that's why we picked him up.
Really?
He's good. Yeah,
I don't think that at all.
We've got what 5 other mediocre running backs already. I don't. Well, I say that we still don't know what we're going to get from Elijah Mitchell, and I guess that's a big, huge question mark. And maybe Andy Reid knows more than what we know, and Elijah, he's just got all the faith in the world that this guy's going to be a number 1 running back. But I just don't. Maybe in the 7th round, you really think we're going to get another Isaiah Pacheco.
I think,
and
this
if you're not as good as
guy's-
Isaiah Pacheco is right now, then you're not good enough to
this
be a
guy
in
was
this
compared directly to Isaiah Pacheco. I think he's a better runner. As you watch these highlights, and Isaiah Pacheco is not a catcher. This is a converted wideout who played, I believe, for the Gators. Is that right? He played for the Gators as a wideout and then switched to running back just this last year. Am I right, chat? Tell me I'm dumb or tell me I'm right. Tell me I'm dumb. Tell me I'm right.
Get Gruden to replace Nagy.
No, Miami, not the Gators. Similar colors. I'll, give me that. Similar colors.
Sure.
But yeah, he like played as a wideout and then swapped over to running back. And I mean, look at these.
That was a sick run.
Look at
but
these
he got through
SMU
that line
highlights.
clean though. That there was the blocking on that was phenomenal. And then he got through the backfield and he was able
but he
to
had the
find the holes.
vision to run through
Yes.
the hole.
You're right. I'm just saying I'm not expecting greatness from the 7th round.
No, and if you look at
Like that hole was
Brian,
massive.
Like if you look at Brian Westbrook's rookie season, like he didn't have like a ton, but he was a game changer when he did come in, and I'm so impressed with this pick. Like I'm super impressed with this pick because I had all but given up on running back, and then like now I'm like, okay, like, and this guy should have went a lot earlier. Like I think the reason he didn't is just because only certain offenses can use this guy, and that's like Andy Reid is one of the guys that basically created this type of running back. In the like Brian Westbrook was like that was coming out when the when the running back by committee was being first invented, and Andy Reid was one of the pioneers of this type of running back. But look at this kid. Look at him. I mean, the vision is there, and the fact that he was a wideout. I mean, this kid can run routes. Like
against college
out of
defenses.
the backfield and go into the freaking slot. Like he can, he can motion out of the halfback spot and actually be a weapon.
Well, we'll see what happens this year. I don't think that we're going to see him on the in the running back. Well, I mean, I guess if he's on the 53 man in his position as running back technically, but I think we're going to see him as a return guy predominantly. Maybe something in the future. I don't know. Maybe he'll show flashes in training camp. I know you said you're going to try to make it to a lot of the training camp. So
yeah, I'm going to try to make it at least 2 days a week. I'm hoping to possibly secure a media pass. If anybody in chat knows a way for me to possibly I just want to get my camera in. I don't need any special treatment. I just want to be able to take footage of the game, of the practice, but
you're going to have to get a media pass.
Either way, I'm going to go because there's not coverage of it. You'll get clips, little Twitter clips of people sneaking a phone clip in, but I want to actually watch it and study it. I've learned so much of this last year. I can't wait to use what I've learned to, give everybody that watches this show, a little bit of, what I've learned, takes and whatnot. But I had another point about this guy. So here, we'll just put up chat things while I think. Dang it. Oh, okay. So the one knock that I do have on him is that he is like, people have compared him to McKinnon, and that's not fair. He's definitely more athletic and more explosive than McKinnon,
Yeah, he's
but he
bigger.
does not have even close. Bigger, really?
I just mean like bulkier.
Oh, because McKinnon was 6 foot.
Was he really?
If I remember correctly, here I could look it up.
Oh, my memory of him is he was like 5'9",
McKinnon Chiefs.
165.
Here, I
something
could be
like that.
I could be wrong. Let's see if I'm right. McKinnon Chiefs height, weight. Pretty sure he was 6 foot. No, you're right. 5'9", 216. You're completely right.
Oh, that's a lot heavier
Yeah,
than I thought, though.
I don't know why I thought he was 6 foot.
I don't know why I thought he was 165 pounds.
Well, here, this is the beauty of the day and age we live in the internet. So I'm
All right.
happy to be proved wrong as long as I'm right the next time, right?
So
But
what
no,
is-
hold on.
Yeah.
So what he doesn't have that McKinnon had in spades is pass block. Like, that's where he has none of that. So,
But I don't think McKinnon started with the pass block ability. I think that's something that he developed because he realized that if he didn't offer that, then his play time was going to be severely reduced. So I think that's something that can be coached, and it can be taught, and it can be learned, and that could turn into that. That doesn't bother me.
Real quick, Brian Parrott, did ACU just go live? Is that why we lost like half of our viewers? Because, yeah, I will definitely be jumping in over there. But
No.
No?
Chiefs concerns is, but
yeah, no, they're not live. But yeah, we'll I mean, I try to catch them live as much as I possibly can. But yeah, I think this guy's got some upside, and I think you're wrong. I don't think he's going to be just a return guy. I think he's going to be an impact player this year, but not somebody that you should pick up in fantasy. Like, in fantasy, I think he'll give you 4 games this year where you wished you had him. I'll
yeah,
say
you
that.
might get 12 to 15 points with him. Like you wish you would. Yeah, I don't think he's going to give you more than that.
I think he'll have at least 4 20-point games.
If he has a return.
In a PPR.
If he has a return.
Jeez,
maybe.
You're killing me, Smalls. He's going to be on the field, bro. Elijah Mitchell's going to get hurt in training camp. And he's going to be our only speedy back after that. Like, Elijah Mitchell has a possible injury rate of 94%.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I mean,
I can't even argue with you on that. I mean, you're right.
Elijah Mitchell stays healthy, I mean, we're gonna win a like Super Bowl. I mean, this kid's amazing, but he's just probably not gonna stay healthy. That's the sad truth.
It is sad.
All right. Well, what do you give this grade for our last pick? It sucks because we had to trade away Mr. Irrelevant. It was a bummer.
I mean, what do I give this grade? I mean, just because it's the very last pick, I'll give it a B. I mean, even if that's all he is a good return guy, that's worth a B in the 7th round. So anything more than that, you know what? If I'm wrong and you're right, then this will end up being an A+.
For the 7th round, I'm giving this an A. This pickup, I think, is an A. I think they found. I mean, and I'm still pissed. I want a actual stud running back. I don't think he's that, but I do think he's could possibly be close to what Brian Westbrook was in his first year.
All right. Well, let's see. Do you think he'll end up being as good as Brian Westbrook was?
Oh God, I have no idea. I have to see him play a season in the NFL before I can give that type of grade. You know, like that
Is
would
he
be
Hall of
crazy
Fame?
to
Is
jump.
Brian Westbrook Hall of Fame?
No, I don't think so. No.
I bet he's Eagles Hall of Fame.
Maybe. I mean, this guy's a gadget player. Brian Westbrook was a gadget player. Like, he was not Shady McCoy. Shady McCoy was an S, for people that don't know, S is just super. But everybody in gaming, S is the highest, then A is the next highest. Like, S is elite, but it appears in sports, or at least football content creation, A is the highest. So, but yeah, he's I think this kid could be something, and maybe he'll prove me wrong, and he will be a top tier running back.
Well, the
All
one
right.
thing I know I'm not wrong about is we did not take a badass running back like both of us really wanted.
Yeah. But
and I think it's still the biggest need of this team.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to. Yeah, it is just because Andy refuses to run. Like, I think we have good running back weapons, but Andy refuses to use them, and Eric Bieniemy isn't there to harp on him. And Nagy's just like, "What you want to do, coach?
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
we'll just do that. Okay.
Yep. You
Yes,
got it,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
You
sir.
got it. You got it.
Yes. Yes, sir.
They call me Nags,
How
because
high?
they call people Spags, so they call me Nags. I should stop making fun of him. He is a good offensive coordinator, but I think Nagy would have a lot more. There just needs somebody there to be like, Andy, no.
I think Matt Nagy would make a much better head coach in Chicago.
Yeah, he'd be great. Nagy would probably be a great head coach. Like,
He wasn't.
I'm being honest. Like, now he might be, after
He might be.
learning.
They should try that again in Chicago.
Shh. Bleep. I'm gonna bleep this out. So, all right. Well, we have went way long, but it was a lot.
Oh shit!
So now we're gonna jump into the undrafted free agents. I'm kidding. We are not jumping into those, although there is a lot of people jumping into them. I think the undrafted free agents, it's a little too early. Let's see them in training camp before we start trying to talk about what they are. But I will say the relative athletic score of most of the undrafted free agents that we got, holy crap, we just picked up a ton of athletes. If they're coachable, they could be something, but they're going to be projects for the next couple years. But don't look down on undrafted free agents, because Mike Pennell, 12 eggs, was an undrafted free agent. Turk, yep. Like, we've had a lot of success with undrafted free agents, but it's way too early to really
12 eggs.
to really be looking at
eggs.
Or hero that saves children.
A child.
Hey, man, super. You just saw him. He actually, he's actually a super hero by night, he just had to come out, with his, mild mannered Turk,
I'm Wharton.
I'm Turk Warden.
What?
I had a gnat. It was like on my microphone. I'm like, go. We're almost done. Leave me alone.
All right. Well, what do you got for overall picture, besides your happiness of Sanders getting
Yeah, that was
snuffed?
that. Well, the Chiefs draft, I'll give it a B plus overall. I think they did really well. I really wish they would have taken a running back a lot higher than they did, but that's over, and it is what it is. I think that I know you hate that. That's why I said it. The draft in general was very entertaining, but I gotta say that I don't know that it would have been had the Shedeur Sanders thing not happened. I mean that it was like drinking coffee for me every time that they showed him on screen trying to look nonchalant, trying to look like he's not worried he's not getting drafted. It was like a little shot of caffeine. Loved it. So the whole draft experience was awesome. Loved it. Can't wait for next year.
Yeah, Buck, the only way you can make it is what it is more annoying is by saying, well, obviously it is what it is.
Yeah, I forgot that part.
The two terms I hate more than anything. Like when a content creator says, obviously, guys, obvious that's a tree. That's obvious. Like anything, like any opinion or any different thought, that's not obvious. It might be obvious to you. It's not obvious though.
I used it correct. I did use it the correct way.
And it is what it is. It's just a lazy thing to say when you can't properly convey your point.
But I summed it up well.
You did okay. You did okay. Yeah. So for me, I did want a running back really bad, but I was joking about Ashton Genty. I said that many times. It would be silly the amount of stuff we would have had to move up. If we did do that, I would have rather taken what's his name, the corner wide receiver from
Hunter?
Colorado. Yeah, Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
I would have rather taken him if we actually wanted to pay that, but the Jaguars were absurdly stupid and did that. I would have loved to move up in the second though and get Travion Henderson, but I mean, Veach is smarter than me, man. And they did a good job. I just,
I think a lot of these picks are future picks. They could honestly, they could be impact players this season, several of them, honestly, but we're talking we could have about 3 or 4 starters out of this group within 2 to 3 seasons. And I think that's really what Veach is focusing on here. Not the big home run Hunter pick where you trade away your entire team for one guy. You got to have more than one guy.
He's, Jacksonville traded up to get that pick to sell tickets. Veach, Clark Hunt, and the entire Chiefs organization is trying to make sure Patrick Mahomes has a chance for his entire career, and that's gonna keep hopefully Patrick here his entire career, and I respect it, and I think it's smarter than what I would have wanted to do. If we could just get somebody who will make Andy run, that would make me happy. That would make me happy, and then we wouldn't have to have a stud running back to make Andy run. So yeah, all in all, yeah, I love that. Is there any questions from chat before we call it a night? We might have had a couple questions up earlier. But yeah, if you want to type them out really quick, we'll answer a couple questions and see what we come up with.
I'm
But
afraid of what Brian would come up with. That guy's
See-
all over the place, man.
he probably knows more than us.
He's-
But we can always learn, and that's the whole point of this podcast. I mean, just think of how much we've learned since we've started this podcast. We had no idea how much work was going to go into it, but God, I'm so excited. Yeah, you were like, wow.
Mhm. I was working 2 jobs at the time too.
I was pretty sure I knew it was going to take a lot of work. I was like, we should maybe start like a movies and shows podcast because I've already got that down, But I'm so glad we started this because I was already a super savvy fan, and now I'm just getting more and more educated, and I love it.
All that I'm learning, what the biggest thing I've learned is that I thought I knew a lot. I really did. I really thought I was on top of the NFL, and I didn't have a clue.
Yeah. I mean, we've learned. I mean, God, think about all the stuff we've learned. I mean, from compensatory picks, I remember being like, "Wait, why is Mr. Irrelevant
a different
number pick every year?
year?
Shouldn't it be the last pick, which should be just 32 times 7, right?"
Yep.
And then we find out about compensatory picks, and we learn about the 5th-year option, which when we were doing our Madden League, like that wasn't a thing. That's like a newer thing that we didn't even know. He's shadow bit. Yeah. So like there's just so many things we've learned. And then I also learned one of the biggest things I've learned is how many people in the NFL don't get paid. I mean, when I was looking at all of the salaries, I was like, wow. So it's really just like real life. Like the top 5 to 10% make the majority of the money.
All of
wow.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just like it's so interesting to see all of the different things. And I mean, I can't even name off everything that I've learned. And I'm excited for the future and just keep learning.
I am too. And you know what? Just not to segue here, but we did kind of bring up the Buck and Bob fantasy football league that we're going to be doing this year. And so that I think is going to lead us to, well, I know it's going to lead me to pick my team in a whole different way than I've ever done it in the past. But I think we're going to, I don't see how it's possible that we have this fantasy football league that we're both deep into, and it doesn't leak over into the show as far as how it affects the game, how it affects Vegas, how it affects the players on the field. We're going to talk about it. It's going to come up.
I mean, I will sports gamble as soon as one of the sites contacts us and says they'll pay us to support them. They'll sponsor us. I will start to sports gamble at that point and not until then.
Right. Yeah.
Because I don't really like to gamble.
Yeah, I'm not great at it.
I mean, I'm okay at it, at least as far as as far as the casinos go. But as far as cards go, I'm okay at it, but I don't like to do it. My son, all right. My son, okay, HD Chiefs. Here, you read it, Buck.
HD Chiefs fan says, my son graduated college with a girl that was an executive in the ticket sales department for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and she was not highly paid at all. And she was an executive. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. I mean, I guess it surprised me a little bit. It also did, we may have different ideas of what highly paid is also. Some people could look at $250,000 a year and be like, that's a decent salary. Whereas I would look, at that and say that's highly paid. So it's all relative.
Well,
but I'll bet that person did not make $250,000 a year.
Well, also though, you have to think like we live in Kansas City, right?
Uh-huh.
So something I had to learn early on, like when I first got a job offer, I got it in in Boston, and the job offer looked amazing if I was in Kansas City. But then when I looked up the cost of living in Boston, I was like, no, it's like it was like making half basically. So the cost of living where you're at is really what a lot of things depend on too. So just straight numbers never tell the whole story.
Sure, absolutely. It would be more expensive to live in Tampa.
Really? More expensive than Boston?
No, than Kansas City.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was like, I think Boston would be more expensive.
I think it would be too. But I know Tampa's more expensive than Kansas City.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, like we probably shouldn't tell people, but Kansas City and Johnson County and/or North Kansas City, it's a really, really good place to live, cost of living and price wise. It's absolutely out of this world. But
yeah, it is. Yeah,
we don't want
as
too many
compared to
people coming here.
some of the bigger cities, and we're really close to our friend Missouri, who has some different laws. Which is
Do you think the Chiefs move to? You think the Chiefs move to Kansas?
I think that's a two-part question. Do I think the Chiefs move? No, I don't. I think that they're trying to get everything they want out at Arrowhead. But if they do move, then yes, I think they're moving to Kansas.
I think they're gonna move, and I think it's the Jackson County residents' fault for not voting to pay. And a lot of people are pissy about it, but guys, I mean that's the way the ball bounces. I mean,
yeah,
as Buck would say, it is what it is. I mean, you're not going to. They're like,
obviously.
yeah, let the millionaires pay. They're not going to pay. They're just going to go to some other city who's glad to pay for their stuff.
They didn't become millionaires by paying for everything.
Yeah, well, and it's not even just that. The amount of money it brings to the city pales in comparison to the taxes that you pay. Like it's like a lot of people just don't understand how beneficial it is to have a major sports team, especially a winning one. And Kansas is taking advantage. But it's interesting to hear season ticket holders talk about it because, if the stadium moves out of Jackson, then people who have the discounted tickets in Jackson no longer have that discount. I don't know how every team handles it, but I don't know if they'll give them like one time you get this price, but I mean the ticket prices are going to go up, and I've seen a lot of comments about that. Like, and if it moves to a different city or a different county, then Wyandotte County now all of a sudden, is the place that has the cheaper season tickets. So, yeah, like HDT Chiefs fans talks about Arrowhead tickets are very reasonable compared to most other stadiums because there isn't a seat license. But they move over to the Kansas side. I think that goes up. And I think that's something a lot of people in Jackson County are not thinking about. And
I think most of the voters in Jackson County think that it is smoke and mirrors. I think most of the voters don't think that there's any chance that the Chiefs want to move away from Arrowhead. And I think that's that's an old way of thinking. I think back in the 80s and 90s, sure, absolutely, it's a big old pain in the ass. But nowadays, teams are moving I mean, all the time. It seems like every year or two, there's another team that's moving.
Well, and read what HD Chiefs fan just said here. This is a very good point.
Yeah, they'll move because the Jackson County residents have said no twice. New stadium will have a seat license, and the prices will be 3 times higher. We got a survey telling us that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And and I mean, what they're gonna have on the Kansas side, if anybody doesn't know, they're gonna move to where the NASCAR racetrack is. There's like 2 different theme parks getting made over there. There's all kinds of development. There's all kinds of land open up. I mean, like, think about the amount of land that Disney World is built on. That's the kind of land they have to work with over there. I mean, we're talking a ton of land, and the Kansas governor, she's trying to take over Kansas City, Missouri, and annex that to Kansas. Like, she is hardcore trying to take over shit. So like, the facilities they could build over there with they don't have to knock down Arrowhead. They don't have to do any of that. Like, they could just build on raw land and build an unbelievable Chiefs area with, like, shops, bars, like a whole night scene that's active even when the stadium isn't active. I mean, we're talking, they'll be able to have so many more concerts, everything there. And they're probably moving to Kansas.
Yeah. We'll gladly take them. I wish I lived in Wyandotte still and could take advantage of that, but
we could get season tickets.
Yep. But I am no longer a Wyandotte County resident.
All right. Well, it doesn't look like we're going to get any more questions. So, yeah, I think next week I don't know what we'll do next week, but
something will come up.
For tonight, we're out. Thank you everyone for hanging out. Thank you, HD Chiefs fan, Brian Parrott. You guys are awesome. King Jamie the Mad. We had some other first-time chatters too.
Craig McGahan.
Yep. Anybody
you,
else?
Buddy? Out in Dodge City.
Ruben DeCruz. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. We're getting more people hanging out during the live chat. We appreciate it a ton. It helps us out. You guys help us out with, fact checking and stuff too. Because, I mean, we've said it before. This is a fan podcast. We aren't fancy analysts. We don't know everything, but we try to not say any wrong stats. We do a lot of research before every show, and we're really enjoying doing this. And guys, you coming in and hanging out with us, it really makes our freaking day, man.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yep. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Just to back on what Bob said, thank you so much. It does make it more than worth it. I really look forward to these shows now. So it makes all of the work worth it. It's already fun anyway, because I mean we're working on our favorite team, so it's it's fun. But yes, thank you so much for staying with us and listening to these two dummies talk about the Chiefs.
All right, guys, with that being said, I don't know, how should we end this? We don't have our own tagline to end. Like, there's, Cole has "Let's freaking go." How about those Chiefs? And then there's like "Go Chiefs," and like, we need our own tagline.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I'm gonna stew over that tomorrow.
Well, from Kansas City, we tell you good night.
Chiefs Kingdom out.
Seacrest out.